Hey, I'm Chris Caban from the Dacula Dojo, and we're going to do another one of our Dojo experience interviews. And today I got a special guest here. So one of our grandmothers here, Miss Javita Payseno, and her grandson Bryson has been with us for what, about 2 years now?
Yeah, over 2 years.
A little over 2 years now.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Bryson's story is a kind of an interesting one. And without getting into too much detail, you guys have guardianship over him, if I'm not mistaken, or
Yeah.
in that he lives with you guys.
Yeah.
So over the years that we've been around each other, you've told me some really cool stories about Bryson,
Yeah.
and just the way that he looks at the world, and his I guess his love for the karate and training with Mr. Lamb.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind, what brought you guys to us in the beginning, and what kind of led you to the dojo or karate in general, or whatever it might be?
Well, the school, Puckett's Mill.
Okay.
Mr. Lamb did a promo and did something at the school, and everybody said, "Oh, Mr. Lamb's the greatest." And Bryson said, "I want to be with the greatest." So
Cool. Yeah, there you go. Who doesn't,
anyway,
right?
it was through the promo.
Through the promo of
Yeah.
Puckett's Mill? Excellent, because we do a lot with the schools here,
Yeah.
and that's a big
Yeah.
thing for us here. Let me ask you, what are some of the things in the very beginning, especially, I know you got to kind of jog your memory a little bit, but back in the very beginning, when he first started coming here, maybe the white uniform and stuff
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah.
what were some of the first things that you saw that we were like, wow, I really like what's going on down there?
Yeah, I think well, the first thing as a parent grandparent figure is the stranger danger awareness and the bullying
Okay.
awareness, and I thought, wow, this is not just karate, just the exercise martial arts thing. There's so much more involved, and Bryson, each individual kid can step on the mat, and they're so excited, but they have such a pride. It's themselves. It's not their brothers and sisters joining with them. It's something they get to do and something they're learning, and it's such an exciting thing. And I think that's the biggest thing for Bryson.
Cool.
This was one time. The minute his foot hits the mat, it's just him.
Nice.
And he has just loved it and grown because of that.
He's
So,
excelled, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of talk about it as like an individual team sport here, where we're all part of like the team dojo aspect,
Yeah.
but each kid does their own time on the mat. They're
Right,
looking at themselves
right.
in the mirror going, am I doing this right? Is this right? You know,
Right.
and stuff like that. That's really cool. Do you have any like analogous stories that you have from like you and I, like I said, we've been swapping
Yeah.
stories for a long time.
Yeah.
Do you have any like really like 1 in a million stories from Bryson's kind of karate experience that makes you go, oh
Yeah,
man, that's
yeah.
my boy out there.
Well, he's had some. We all have interesting lifestyles and think a lot of ups and downs. Things don't work perfectly,
Sure.
and we're no different than any other family. But there have been a couple of times when things have been really rough at home, and because of family things. But he'll come into the dojo and just put on his karate face, and he goes out there and just gives it his all. And yeah, it's remarkable to me to see that. And then also when the kids come out and do that and perform and listen to Mr. Lamb, Mr. Zach, Mr. Caban, whatever they're doing, it's not just the kids that learn, it's the parents that sit around and observe. I mean, I seriously, I feel like I've got what I need for my own self-defense just in watching and learning.
Yeah,
but
sure.
it's such a incredible opportunity. It's not just a event to keep kids busy. It's a great opportunity.
People always talk about like, oh man, after class, all my problems have been solved. I got a chance to kind of get that cathartic burn and stuff like that. And we don't really talk about that a lot with children, because kids are expected to just, back in my day, it was, kids are expected to be seen and not heard, and things like that. Where now little guys, they have a lot more pressure on them. The social media aspect, maybe not for an 8-year-old, but still the games. They have to keep up with the Joneses with the awesome shoes, and they have to be on Fortnite 12 hours a day, or their friends are going to look down on them and stuff. So to have a kind of a safe space, if you will, to take a modern term, and give them a chance to go out and be themselves. That's huge. Wow, I didn't even think of that. Now I know that you're the sole chauffeur, if you will, in this group. But with your husband, Mr. Brian, he's been really helpful with us as well, doing great graphic design stuff and all that.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that if you guys are talking, because I know my wife and I talk about my kids as well, are you guys talking about him, and can he see the same thing? Because I know that you know, we kind of got you in the program as well. You're listening, you've come to our self-defense programs. But Mr. Brian's just kind of this like third-party guy now. And speaking in his voice, I guess that might be a little hard, but do you think that he sees the value, and have you guys spoken about that, where he's like, wow, this is something that I'm really glad Bryson's in. I know that, you know, that you're super excited about the program, but it's sometimes, you know, sometimes Dad really wants Junior to play a sport, and Mom was like, I could care less, I just have to get him there on time, you know, and stuff like that.
Right.
But having both family members in that role is really important. I guess. And do you see that as well with Brian?
I do, and he's a marketing communication guy, and so he's but he's very hands-on with Bryson on a lot of things, like all of us are, as his mom and others. But he sees the draw too. Even this particular dojo, I mean, as opposed to others, and he sees the people and Mr. Lamb, that's amazing, and everybody else that makes everything work, and it's really been great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to put you on the spot now. I'm going to do something I haven't done yet. If you don't mind me asking, what is in your mind like a neat, because you do have this marketing master in the house as well. What would be a good elevator type speech if one of the other moms or grannies or something like that was like, oh, your kid goes to that dojo, we've heard about it, we're thinking of going. What would you, like in a 45-second or less, I know I'm putting you on the spot, how would you answer that question? Like, oh, we thought about that, or if someone did ask you about the dojo, if you don't mind, you know, just kind of like playing with words a little, what would be, you know, like your answer to, oh, we thought about doing it, but we're just a little on the fence, or something like that?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'd have to say why this dojo is unique, and you know, it's like anything. The big top speakers say it all boils down to the people. The people. It doesn't matter how big your marketing plan is or whatever. It's the actual people that drive your business, and that is the case in this dojo. From you in the office, you're so slammed sometimes, but you always make time for people that constantly interrupt you and say, hey, what's the schedule when it's out there, and you know, all kinds of things. But it's just the way this dojo works, and you know, there's sometimes you have to bend the rules a little bit and accommodate, you know, to make everything work out. But everybody, from the parents that I've talked to, they know that that's a priority, the kids, and getting the kids in, getting them quality time on the mat and learning, and I mean, that's just a given, that's the priority. And everybody works, Mr. Zach, everybody works all in unison to that. Yeah. So it's, I just can't say enough, but it's really been I mean, for our little family unit, it's really been the driving force and the constant that's kept Bryson, given him something steady. So,
awesome. Well, that's so cool. I can't thank you enough for coming out and doing this busy day.
My pleasure.
It's just so neat, and I do like to say, like I said earlier, I like to make those connections, and I just love sitting with you guys. And so anytime I get a chance to break out of that chaos in the office and sit down with you guys, I just learn so much from the parents, and there we've got a lot of grandparents out there in the chairs as well. So I just love sitting with you guys and just see anything I can do to make any changes and stuff like that. So, well, listen, I want to thank you so much, Ms. Javita.
You're welcome.
Definitely appreciate you coming out. I want to thank Zachary Green, our AV guy and assistant instructor here. Can't say it without Mr. Lamb. Thank him, Stella, Miss Maggie, all the guys in the active care department and everything like that. So.
Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. We appreciate you. Cool. Got it. All right. Thank you so much.